Hello, everyone, and I'm Christina Giordano, the founder of Sold, your go-to resource for soulful entrepreneurship. And my philosophy is this: people can no longer be sold to, they must be sold to. That is SOUL apostrophe D. This is selling with soul. This is marketing with integrity, where you no longer need to compromise your authenticity, your boundaries, your uniqueness, your wholeness. This is messaging that actually reflects the true transformation you provide because it's your story, your transformation, and nobody can compete with that. This is monetizing yourself in a way that honors your fullness, all of the pieces and parts of you that are meant to be divinely resourced. Join me every Wednesday to learn all of this and more. Let's jump right in. This episode is called Five Shifts That Happen When You Believe That You and Others Are Capable. Now, first, I want to apologize for my little week off last week. I was very much under the weather, like in bed. And you can probably tell a little bit in my voice that I sound a little nasally. When else did I sound nasally? I feel like it was at the start of the season of Sold, which is funny. Or perhaps it was when I returned to this season after another kind of a longer hiatus of 4 months or so to deal with some personal things. But yes, that is the last time that I was sick. So it's funny because this is the second to last episode of the season, and which means next week is the last episode of the season. But here I am coming in and closing out with a cold. So thank you for being here anyway. One of the foundational beliefs of Sold is that we are all capable. And I talked about this briefly in the episode from a few weeks ago when I referenced toxic marketing that essentially made you feel as though you were lacking in some area and therefore needed whatever it was that was being sold. However, as you know, over here, we believe that people can no longer be sold to. They must be sold to. Again, that's SOUL apostrophe D. Now, if we were having a deeper conversation about the old marketing paradigm, I'd explain all of the ways in which it is a broken and outdated approach to marketing because at its core, it's reflective of a toxic form of love. Bear with me for a moment. I know this might sound a little crazy, but everything that we do comes from love. Everything that we believe in, everything that we're rooted in, everything that we stand for, the thing that moves us is love. And when we're operating from a toxic form of love or from an insecure form of love or from a type of love that is not truly unconditional, it doesn't feel good to receive or give that type of love. And that's why it never felt good to give or receive this type of marketing. It's because it had these elements of love that were toxic. So I just want you to think for a moment here. How often have you seen marketing that had narcissistic flavoring? Or how often have you seen marketing that had a codependent texture? Or how often have you seen marketing that felt like further wounding, where it lacked consent, conveyed urgency, and felt desperate and at times overbearing? Marketing in its highest form is showing people what's possible for them. It's an invitation to experience something new, something aligned, something empowered. And we do this by being a walking representation of the exact transformation that people are seeking for themselves. We put our stake in the sand and claim what matters so much about what we do with consciousness, clarity, and conviction. Now, in its highest expression, we are not shining to show our own light. We are shining to show people theirs. We are mirroring something. And I've said this many times before, but buyer consciousness has evolved. The old paradigm simply, it doesn't work anymore. People aren't going to buy from you unless they feel aligned to you, to you, to you, to your mission, your method, and your message. And if you're doing marketing in this old approach, that's again, SOUL apostrophe D, you're embodying all three of these elements, your mission, your method, and your message, without very much effort because it reflects your truth. It is you. There are so many people in this world who desire the exact thing that you're selling, but we've forgotten that these people are truly capable of discerning for themselves what they need. We think we can tell them what they need, but we cannot. And now I want you to think about love. How often in a toxic form of love do you see one person trying to manipulate another? How often in a toxic form of love do you see one person trying to intervene with another? Tell them what they need. How often in a toxic form of love do you see one person trying to rescue or save or fix another? Those who are selling with the souled approach not only trust their own energy, they trust that their energy is calling in those who truly feel aligned to them and empowered by them. The point is this: you are capable and your people are capable. Now, if you know me, you know that I firmly believe that every single person I work with has the creative capacity to regularly create content and stay consistent with it. I also firmly believe that every single person I work with does not need to hire an expensive agency or consultant to figure it out for them. And if you do take this route, prepare to be heavily involved in the process or prepare to do it over again. And I also firmly believe that every single person that I have worked with has the time and the space to market themselves regularly within a structured setting and time frame. We are all capable. You are all capable. And now, on top of this, I also firmly believe in the following: that you do not need to over explain yourself to your audience if your message is crystal clear to begin with, that you do not need to overextend yourself while marketing yourself if you got the appropriate structure and boundaries put in place to make it happen. I also firmly believe that you do not need to second guess what you're putting out there if you trust your energy implicitly. Now, here's what happens when you start believing that you and your audience are capable. It's wild. And I will say for myself, what I have seen for myself and what I have accomplished for myself and what I have done for myself are all direct results of me simply believing that I was capable of achieving it, of doing it, of getting it done, of making it happen. It just comes from that belief, that love for myself, and that love within myself that propelled me forward, that made me do the thing, that made me decide what is aligned. Now let's go through these. I've collected 5 of them. Number 1, when you start believing that you and your audience are capable, you don't need to fix anyone or anything. Now, this is particularly important for those who consider themselves healers in my audience, not just the body workers, the therapists, the coaches, and energy workers, but also consultants like myself who work in the spiritual and energetic space. You're not responsible for the healing of your clients. You're providing the space, resources, tools, and methods to allow people to cultivate their own healing on their own journey. And as healers, because believe it or not, I believe that I am a healer. I have the fact that people can walk away from me and feel good about marketing themselves. That's a healing type of alchemy. That's a healing that we've done together. And as healers, we need to release control of that process and fully accept and honor our clients' journey as their own. Now, I have so many examples of where this is relevant in my life and in other lives as well. But one of the biggest setbacks I hear from people within the industry is that they don't want to be seen as the guru. They don't want to be seen as the expert. They don't want to be seen as someone who knows everything about their field or within their industry or whatever. And I tell them, then don't. Then don't look at yourself like that. Then don't think of yourself like that. What you can do instead is think of yourself as a contributor to a conversation that is already happening with or without you. And since it's a conversation that's already happening and you're contributing to it, that's all you're doing. You're putting in your 2 cents. You're throwing your hat in. You're saying, that's great. This is what I think. So hopefully that helps a couple of you out there who might be feeling the same thing. Number two, when you start believing that you and your audience are capable, you begin to desire to make money for your work. This is something I've seen within spiritual communities, that it's bad to make money for your work. And or that it's bad to desire money, or if you make too much money, you no longer belong within spirituality. But is this the ultimate truth? What if money is a spiritual concept? And what if its role is to simply magnify you so that you can make a bigger impact? Is everyone actually greedy who has money? Is everyone who desires money egotistical? Could you do the work that you love and make money for it? Is that such a horrible thing? What if it's the greatest thing you can do for yourself in this life? What if that's your purpose? Do you see where I'm getting at here? Let me tell you something about me and how I think about this. All of my transactions are sacred. Every penny I receive and release is all for my sacred purpose, which is one part investment into me, myself, and I, one part investment into my kiddos, and one part investment into sold. None of these are more sacred than the other. They all reflect my higher purpose. Number three, when you start believing that you and your audience are capable, you are ready to receive for your gifts. This is somewhat of a part two to the last one I just talked about, but it deserves its own section. As you desire to make money for the work that you love and to those who feel aligned to it, you are fully ready to receive. As I said previously, every transaction I make is sacred. It's an investment into my destiny, into my soul, into the people and spaces and things that I love. And because you know that you are capable and you trust that your clients are capable, you are fully ready to receive for them. You're giving what you came here to give them. And so now you can fully receive from it. Number four, when you start believing that you and your audience are capable, you see your clients from a higher lens and foster their self-concept. This is true for you as well, because as you see yourself as capable, your self-concept becomes more solid and contained. And this is the same for your clients. You believe in them. You believe in their calling, in their path, in their own steadfastness towards self-actualization and a fulfilling life. We trust that they know what is best for them. We are simply a light post down their path. We're not the path itself. This removes an incredible amount of pressure from us to provide the way forward. But it also removes an incredible amount of pressure from our client to rely on us so fully and completely, when what they really need to do is learn how to rely on themselves. And finally, number five, when you start believing that you and your audience are capable, you develop stronger boundaries and are more contained. Your clients no longer rely on you for their healing. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone or to yourself, even. And this, in turn, stops your energy from leaking. You are more solid and contained. And more importantly, you begin to trust yourself more than ever before because you simply know yourself. You trust your energy. You are capable. And so is your audience. Can you feel just for a moment how much peace and relief knowing this brings? Now, you may have noticed that I'm talking a little bit about energetics in those last few points because things are shifting over here a little bit in the world of sold as I begin to release something close to my heart called the money methods. Now, the money methods are the next step from the marketing methods, but if you'd like to experience the foundational method of the marketing methods for free, head to the Get Guidance page on my website to either download the 10-minute audio version of the Life Method, or you can jump into a 1-hour free workshop called the Life Method Live. These workshops happen in person and online on a regular basis, and you can jump in whenever. More on those new methods soon, but for now, I hope that this information helped today. And until next time, as you know, be well and take care.